Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a good day. It's March 14th, and today I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about this week, because this week is looking very significant, especially a Wednesday for severe weather. It's going to be a different type of severe weather event than we had Saturday or yesterday. It's looking like it's going to be in a completely different area first of all, and it looks a little bit different. We'll get into that later in the video. And we're going to look at models for that and stuff. And we're also just going to do like a kind of a recap of what we had yesterday in Texas. If we'd have a localized tornado outbreak, or that's at least what I'm calling it. So yeah, let's get started. So right now, this is the uh, IR, the clean IR. Like I prefer that. But we can see that we have our low right here. Pretty obvious actually, but just by looking at this, you can see. You know, if we play this out, we can see everything's rotating around that point right there. So our low is right here. It's really not moving a lot, which is that means it's just sucking in moisture and making a ton of snow in this area with all that moisture. So, and we've had several feet of snow, or not several, but a couple feet of snow in some areas like Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm pretty sure areas of Denver have gotten around 10 inches. I'm pretty positive. And you can see we have a long cold front with this. It goes really far south, even into Mexico. And then we kind of have a warm front. Just by looking at this, looks like maybe our warm front is like this. So yeah, we did have a chance of maybe a cold core set up for some thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms in this area today. Right to the northeast of that low. We had just a little bit of moisture and just a little bit of instability, and that brought the chance of severe thunderstorms. Then along the cold front, we did have a chance kind of in this area. It did go down a little bit. The SPC downgraded it from a slight risk to a marginal risk. So yeah, and also let's talk about yesterday in Texas. Because yesterday in Texas was a pretty big deal. We go back to yesterday. 17 tornado reports, and a lot of high wind reports. You can see we had 31 wind reports, and that can be from wind damage and stuff like that. And we had high wind reports, which are 65 knot plus winds. We had 7 of those. Mainly, all of this was in the Texas Panhandle or in areas of western Texas. Had a few in eastern Texas though, and along that upper level low, we did have a hail report in eastern Nevada. So pretty interesting day yesterday. One of the most interesting days for severe weather we've had for a while. And today in this area, right to the northeast of that low, we did have shear, and so we were able to have 2 land spouts in that area, which are right there in northwestern Kansas and southwestern Nebraska. So today was also pretty interesting in that area. And we had a hail report. Actually, yeah, one right there in southwestern Arkansas, right around Texarkana. We did have a wind report also. It's right over that tornado report in northwestern. It's right under that tornado report in northwestern Kansas. That's why you can't see it. We got it unfiltered for today, because unfiltered, we can see more reports. We actually had two wind reports right there of just some grain bins blown around, and then our 2 land spouts and 1 hail report in Little River County, Arkansas, which is in southwestern Arkansas. So pretty interesting today. Now let's talk about this. So first of all, we got to take a look at the convective outlooks that the SPC has. So this is today's day 1 outlook, and remember the time changed. So now the next outlook will no longer be coming out at 8. This is in Eastern time, by the way. The Eastern time zone is what I'm talking about right here. But now it comes out now the last day 1 outlook of the day comes out at 9, and then if you live in Eastern, 8. If you live in the central U.S. and you're in the central time zone, and so so that's pretty much that. So we do have 2 marginal risks today. We had one right here. We had those land spouts and some damaging wind, and then one along the cold front, right there in western Mississippi, eastern Arkansas, and northern Louisiana. So, and so tornado threat today, we have 2%, 5% wind in the south and 5% hail in the north. So yeah, hail is a little bit more steep because you're kind of right to the northeast of that surface low, which could enhance sometimes the hail potential because we have maybe some steeper lapses. It's probably why they have that hail risk there. Now tomorrow we do have an interesting looking day, and that is in areas of Alabama and Mississippi. We have a marginal risk there. We're going to be talking about that for just a little bit, not too long. And then day three. Day three is when we have our next storm system. Our other one exits, goes to the northeast, and kind of dies. And then our next one, we have a large slight risk from areas of Kansas down into northeastern Texas, and a very large marginal risk. It goes all the way from almost Omaha down into Shreveport, Louisiana, and even kind of close to, I think, Austin, Texas. Yeah, I think Austin is in this. I'm not sure though. I'm not 100% sure, but in day 4, as you guys can see, day 4 is going to be a very interesting day. Day 4 is Wednesday, March 17th, and day 4 looks to be maybe a severe weather outbreak. I'm not going to say tornado outbreak because this is far out, and I'm not a hype channel, but it definitely looks like we could have some kind of outbreak on Wednesday in areas of the south and the southeast. You have a 30% risk in the SPC, which that's a pretty big deal. And cities in that 30% is Memphis, Jackson, Mississippi, Montgomery, Alabama, Birmingham. I think we're kind of right on the edge of that. And we do have Monroe, Louisiana, and I think Baton Rouge is in it. I don't know, but the SPC doesn't. It doesn't. Yeah, we don't even have. It doesn't tell us what cities are in the third. Or it doesn't. It doesn't tell us what cities are in the 30%. Oh, there we go. Memphis, New Orleans, Birmingham, Baton Rouge, and Montgomery. So Baton Rouge is in it. Okay. And day 5, we also have another 15%. It goes from southeastern Virginia into northern Florida. Another pretty big day. And it's along kind of the mid-Atlantic down into the southeast. And we have cities in that 15% are Jacksonville, Virginia Beach, Raleigh, Norfolk, and Greensboro, North Carolina. And we have no day 6 to 8 outlook, so that's good. Now, so I'll say this, day 3 to 5 is looking very interesting. Day 3 to 5, I'm talking about Tuesday the 16th until Thursday the 18th. Those days are looking very interesting for severe weather. And it looks like we could even have a severe weather outbreak now. Exactly the magnitude of this severe weather outbreak, that's uncertain. But where it's going to happen, that's a little bit more certain. Now, I'm not going to narrow it down to like any specific point, but it looks like right where the SPC has it at 30%. So, I'm going to agree with the SPC here. And let's talk about tomorrow briefly here. So, if you can see, we have our surface low in kind of Missouri, kind of right to the south of Kansas City. This is the HRRR, by the way. We have a cold front probably like this. That's kind of off, like this, and a warm front right here. We could have maybe a thin area where we could have some severe weather in this area tomorrow, maybe a little bit further to the west, in southern Illinois and in Missouri, maybe a cold core setup, kind of like today. We'll talk about that. And further to the southeast, into the deep south, we have moist dews in this area where we have our marginal risk, and we can take some soundings real quick. The sounding, this is actually not bad. Shear, I don't really like the looks of that shear. We have winds backing of height a lot in the sounding, kind of going back and forth. I don't like that shear at all. But we can see that we do have some good energy, a good amount of it. Not really fat cape, but it's pretty thin, but it's manageable for sure. SRH is kind of low. Overall, I don't think this sounding is going to produce a whole lot, other than maybe some severe weather. It's kind of messy. Let's take one up by St. Louis. Now this is what I'm talking about for shear here. Not really enlarged with the Hodo, but we do have pretty nice shear. Winds not backing. Winds veering of height the whole way up, and dews are limited in this area, but we could have maybe some kind of cold core setup. We do have pretty steep low-level lapse rates, actually, kind of right by the surface. Those are pretty steep. So overall, this is not a bad sign. This is actually, in my opinion, this could support maybe This could support, or it has a better chance of actually supporting maybe tornadoes tomorrow. Uh, so I'd say we have a few areas to watch. Let's zoom in on this area. Uh, and so we can go out to tomorrow. Let's actually go to composite reflectivity real quick. And we can take some soundings kind of in front of what the HRRR has for storms. So HRRR does show storms going off in this area. So we're going to have to see how this happens because the SPC hasn't really picked up on it yet, I don't think. Yeah, they don't have a marginal lot. They do have the general thunderstorm going up into that area, but yeah, so you can see we can take a sounding in central Missouri right here. This is kind of capped, for sure. But not really bad. I mean, you know, that shear is pretty, or not pretty. I don't really like that shear. Winds are not backing with height at all. They're veering the whole way up. Overall, that could maybe support some weak rotations. And also, another thing about this, Hodo looks kind of bad. It looks okay for a little bit. It's not really enlarged at all. And the storms move north, kind of go above the warm front, and then die out. And down in Alabama, we have that second area where we are watching. And this is, you see, shear doesn't look perfect in that area. In fact, I mean, I kind of don't really like the looks of that. Let's go to severe weather, and we're gonna go SB Cape and 500 and crossovers here. Something I like a lot, or I like to use a lot. And we can see just that shear doesn't look really good in this area. Tomorrow afternoon until tomorrow night. See, I mean, a few of these look good, I guess. Yeah. So take some soundings here. We have the most Cape. This is actually not a bad sounding. We do have winds veering, or not yet. Yeah, winds mostly veering with height. A little bit of backing around, say 4 kilometers up. Not bad though. This could support a weaker tornado probably, or not probably. This could support one. There's more than just the shear, but that could support it. We can also see up here in Missouri, Illinois, where we have that little sector where we could see some severe weather. We do have some slim Cape, but it is there. We have values of around 300 to 400. That's pretty bad, but that is manageable. I know if you have a bunch of storms taking or sucking up all that energy, then it's not gonna go well. But yeah, overall tomorrow we do have we could see some decent severe weather in this area here and down further to the south in Mississippi and Alabama, maybe northwestern Georgia also, like extreme northwestern Georgia. So yeah, that's tomorrow. Now let's go ahead and go to the next day. Let's go to Wednesday or Tuesday first. We're not going to talk about Tuesday too much. We're going to see we have our low in the panhandles, and then it looks like Tuesday could be maybe an overnight event. And we're not going to look at Tuesday very much. We got the Wednesday. Wednesday looks to be an overnight event also. Wednesday night and early Thursday morning. This is Wednesday evening. This is at around 7 to 8 p.m. depending on where you live. We have snow in this area, stretching all the way from around Wichita up into almost Minneapolis. And then kind of the setup. Okay, I'm gonna draw what the setup we have. So we have cold front likely right here. Our warm front seems to be setting up like this. Maybe not exactly like that, but that's roughly where we have our warm front. And then this is going to be the area where we're going to want to watch. We have southwesterly winds bringing in moist air from the Gulf. And let's take some soundings in this area. Let's take one right there. We have decent shear on Wednesday. Let's actually zoom in the south so we can take some better soundings. And let's get dews. Now let's take one right here. This is right to the east of the cold front. Shear is not bad with this. We have winds veering of height, mostly, maybe some issues around in between 3 and 6 kilometers up. We have pretty thick cape, or we have a decent amount of instability, a little bit cap, not significantly though, and lapse rates are okay for the southeast. But as we go later, this is 03Z. Let's take one in Alabama, central Alabama. That is contaminated, so let's not even look at it. Take one in southwestern Alabama. This one has decent shear. Okay, Hodo. Not too good, but that's an okay Hodo. I'll just say that. Then it continues moving further to the east, the cold front, with the chance of severe weather around Thursday, or pretty much almost Thursday, or around midnight Wednesday night. Going into early Thursday morning, chance of severe weather will be limited. Just by looking at dews, it'll be limited to Mississippi, Alabama, and then into Georgia after that, and maybe even southeastern Louisiana. Now, something that could limit it for areas like northern Georgia is this. Now, this is cold air damming, or the wedge is what some people call it. And you see, this model that we're looking at doesn't go out far enough to actually see if the wedge gets pushed back by this warm sector right here. The warm front's kind of like this, and so we'll have to see, or well, the warm front's going to be right there, but we'll have to see if this is actually going to be able to push back that wedge and maybe bring a better chance of severe weather into maybe Atlanta and maybe Greenville, Spartanburg, kind of that area of upstate South Carolina. We'll have to see if that will actually get pushed back. And so yeah, that is the severe weather for Wednesday. We're not looking at it too much because it is far out, and I don't have a ton of time tonight. So yeah, now let's start talking about kind of the long range real quick. So tomorrow with this low pressure, that's going to be continuing to move to the east, and slowly weaken, we're going to have a chance of snow and even some freezing rain. Freezing rain will be mainly limited to central Illinois, kind of the central areas. And then on the northern side of this, we do have maybe some pockets of moderate to even heavy snow in areas in northern Illinois, eastern Iowa, and southern Wisconsin. And then that moves to the east and dies really before it gets to the northeast. So maybe some snow showers during the day Tuesday, and then the Tuesday night across the northeast. And then Wednesday, we have our next storm system. It's actually a pretty strong low. Then that moves to the northeast. And doesn't really this one doesn't really bring a whole lot of winter weather. It only brings really a lot of snow once it's in for a brief period once the low is in central Missouri, kind of the Missouri area. We have some snow in Iowa, in that area. Then it doesn't really bring snow to the northeast though. It gets pushed down further to the south, and not enough moisture gets into that cold air. The northeast will be cold enough for snow next Friday, or not next Friday. It's actually this Friday. Problem is that the low we're not gonna have enough moisture in that area to really bring the chance of a good snow. Now we'll have to see, because it does indicate a little bit of maybe some snow on the backside of it. Off areas maybe like New Jersey, southeastern PA. Now we'll have to see about that because this is pretty far out. But we'll look at the European real quick and see how that compares. No, sorry. It's not the Euro. Alright, here we go. See how that compares. So the Euro does have a little bit more snow, has a little bit more cold air, and the low isn't too far to the south. So we have some decent snow here for southern PA, south and central PA, northern, down into even southern New Jersey, down even into maybe even Virginia. Yeah, Virginia. With this low, we'll have to see the next upcoming days how the storm system changes, and then after that, it looks like we could have another big storm system. Maybe next week. We're probably going to have another storm system next week. That's in fact likely. Because most weeks we do have some kind of storm system across the U.S. But we'll have to see about this. Because if this does happen, that would maybe favor some severe weather again across Dixie, maybe the Midwest. And then, which it is far out, so we're not even looking at this yet. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back tomorrow. But yes, hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday.